we're going to be talking about boosting your brand growth with key customer insights. So, we know that growing a brand is difficult and requires continuous investigation, insights, as well as different types of strategies so that you can reach the right customer. In today's session, we're going to be talking about how we can use different insights and strategies to help you grow your brand and reach that next brand milestone. So, before I go, I went a little bit too quick. My apologies. I am Sean Sorber. I'm super excited to be here. This is Shenda Jiaying. He's going to be joining me as well. But let's go ahead and jump into things. Before we get into our topics for today, I would love to start with a quick knowledge check, all right? So everything that we're covering today is based on a foundation that y'all as sellers and brand owners have used different types of Seller Central tooling, such as Amazon Brand Analytics, sponsored products, brand tailor promotions. Additionally, that you've ran some type of a basic advertising campaign using Amazon tooling. And then additionally, you've done some type of optimization to your product listing. For today's agenda, we're going to build upon that, and we're going to give you insights into tools and actions that can help drive brand growth. When it comes to different types of engagement strategies, we're going to be discussing how exactly you can identify some of your top ASINs and their drop-off points, where you are starting to lose sales and not getting that final conversion. We're also going to jump into how you can understand your different customer demographics for those specific ASINs and how you can optimize your brand positioning to really resonate with those customers. And then finally, we're going to talk about how you can engage those customers at different moments in their purchasing journey. So before we get into things, I really wanted to start and understand some of the pain that you've experienced. So first off, wanted to ask the question, and please raise your hand. We are looking for engagement. What are some of the biggest issues that you face as brand owners when it comes to growing your brand, reaching those next milestones? I promise I do not bite, I do not have cooties. So anybody who would love to raise their hand and kind of express your practices or your experiences.
Like how to identify your repurchase behavior, like knowing where you are in comparison to your competitors, and then how to then take the next step and improve those rates.
Yeah. So, and I think I really resonate with that because you're not just trying to understand how exactly customers are working, but it's like, I always want to compare myself to somebody else. I personally have imposter syndrome a lot of the times because I ask myself the question, I'm like, am I doing well? Am I good at my job? And I think that that exact statement really resonates when it comes to selling on Amazon, because I could be doing great compared to my competitors. And so that's something that I want to double down on. Or is there an area of opportunity where maybe one of my competitors is doing a little bit better? And how can I learn from them? We're all here to kind of grow and kind of increase our connection with customers on Amazon. Thank you, by the way. What's your name?
Walter.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Walter. Appreciate it. Anybody else? In the very back.
One of the biggest challenges we have is competing with other people who are selling our own product.
Can you state that for me one more time? I'm so sorry.
One of the biggest challenges we have is competing with other people who are selling our own product on Amazon.
Oh yeah, that's a great point. And I think that really kind of emphasizes the need to differentiate your brand. Because if an Amazon customer sees, 5 different products that are all very similar in nature, how do you stand out against that crowd? So excited that you brought that up. I very much feel your pain, and we'll get to dive into that. So now that we've kind of understood a little bit around what are some of the problems or the issues that you face, let's talk about what are some of the opportunities. So, I am off on my slides. I'm so sorry. My apologies. My butterflies in my stomach they're a lot at the moment. So let's go ahead and start talking about some of the brand growth opportunities. First one, as I mentioned at the beginning, we know that growing a brand is difficult, and you really want to make sure that you're getting your product in the hands of the right customer to be successful. Well, let's talk about what the digital buying landscape is going to look like over the next couple of years. We've reached a saturation when it comes to our older generations, all right? When it comes to the number of Gen Zs, though, they are the up and comer. They're the growing area. Did you know that 80% of Gen Zs are digital buyers? But that's diminished when we start to look at teens who are going to be future buyers. In the age range of 14 to 17, only 65% of those are digital buyers. And so as we look to the future, 2029, 5, 10 years, the Gen Z generation is going to be increasing their digital buying habits by 7 percentage points. They're going to be that target customer, whereas Gen Xers and boomers are not going to see that exact same. Gen Xers are only going to be growing by roughly 3% versus boomers at 1%. And I think what this does is this emphasizes the fact that our digital buyer is shifting to a younger generation that has differing purchasing habits. I myself am a millennial. I've gone through the experience of buying from brick and mortar to when Amazon came around. Now I'm realizing that I have this tension and this question I ask myself, do I want to buy on Amazon because I can get very quick delivery, a lot of selection, or do I want to go in the store? Gen Zs, they grew up in a world where a digital first purchasing habit is like their primary. So I think this, again, just emphasizes you want to reach the correct audience. And it's exciting because we'll talk about how exactly you can do that. So we've talked about the fact that newer generations are buying. Let's also talk about creating a strong and differentiated brand. And thanks to my gentleman in the back who kind of brought this up, is going to be super critical. So 84% of digital consumers are now making a purchase with a brand that they have an emotional connection to. It is no longer just about the price. It is about who you are as a brand and do you resonate with your customers. For example, like I just signed up for Mill, which is a lovely type of compost processing thing. That's something my wife loves, and she really resonated with the brand because she was trying to make a difference with her own capabilities on our kind of carbon footprint. So we know that digital consumers are buying based on an emotional connection. We also know, though, that our younger generations are much more fluid when it comes to the brands that they buy from consistently. Over 80% of Gen Zs and millennials changed brands, at least one brand in the last year. So there's this sense of I can jump to the new brand. I can jump and try the new product. And that's really, really different compared to only 70% of Gen Xs switching brands in the last year and only 60% when it comes to those boomers. So I think what that's doing is really emphasizing that while your new customers are coming on, those Gen Zs, they are purchasing using an emotional connection. And so that brand differentiation is that way to set yourself apart. And then the final insight that I wanted to talk about is around personalization. Many of us know that personalization is the hot topic. It's the big thing. And it's really a crucial capability that allows you to kind of set yourself apart, no matter whether or not you're a digital only or a brick and mortar. If I focus on how can I create a really like resonating experience with my customers, I'm able to kind of, shall I say, create this immediate relationship with them. I'm immediately going on a speed dating environment, and now I've set myself apart by personalizing their experience. Interestingly, a report by McKinsey just recently titled Next in Personalization said that greater than 70% of consumers now are expecting brands to deliver a personalized experience. And 3 out of 4 customers are getting frustrated when this doesn't happen. I think it's really emphasizing that if you're not meeting your customers' expectations by delivering a personalized experience, or you're delivering a subpar personalization, then they have a higher likelihood of switching brands. And so I think when we look at the growth opportunities, it's really summarizing down to a new generation of buyers that have an emotional connection with brands that they're buying from because they can try so many different brands. And the best way to do that is going to be thinking about how can you personalize your experience with that customer during their purchasing journey. So now that we've covered all of these, let's talk about how exactly we can use insights and actions to kind of help grow your brand and connect with new customers. So I'm going to hand it over to my fantastic peer, Shenda, who's going to go into this in further detail. So thank you so far.
Awesome. Thank you, Sean. Hello, everybody. Welcome here. My name is Chenda Jiang. I'm a product manager at Amazon. Very proud here to present a few new tools we're developing on the data insight side, help you identify how you can grow your brand through products growth. What we want to focus on today is to help you to first find the right product to focus on at the moment. I assume you have hundreds, thousands of ASINs in your catalog, right? And you deal with data every day. So the key point is to use pre-built analytics to help you understand through different engagement levels and stages, what is the right product focus on at the moment that needs your attention or shows a growth opportunity. Then we'll present a suite of analytics tools to help you understand what are the key elements of data you should focus on to grow your product at the moment. Of course, we'll talk about the action you can take. Within a few clicks in Seller Central, you can focus on developing a product either through fixing the upper funnel problems or grow the down funnel conversion rate. Now, before we get into details of this exciting suite of tools, I want to quickly recap on what we have launched since last Accelerate. If you were here last year, we're excited talking about the launch of Customer Journey Analytics. For all US brand owners today, if you go to Seller Central, navigate to the Brand tab, and go to the Brand Analytics, you'll first land on something called Customer Journey Analytics. You can see that it gives you a brand level view of how your brand has been engaging your customers through different phases of funnels. The first one is awareness. We first help you understand how many customers are seeing you from search channel and how many are dropping before they go to the next phase, which is consideration. Consideration is a summary of customers who have been seeing your detail page, navigating your listings, or go to your brand stores. Now, the third phase is about intent. We capture the customers who are engaging you through adding to cart or adding to wish list. By looking at the drop-off of each stage so far, you have a good sense of where you want to focus on to improve your conversion end-to-end. Of course, the last conversion is the favorite destination, which is the purchase. This brand view has been launched in Q1 to all brand owners, and we'll continue to get feedback that sellers want to know more about their products because that's how they make decisions, they understand data, and improve their entire brand loyalty. So today, I'm very proud to present this new product, which is currently in beta in the US, that is ASIN level customer journey. The first thing we do is to answer the question, at this moment, what is the product in my catalog I should be focusing on? That's where analytics comes in to help you to navigate across all the ASINs and find the things that are having a problem or presenting yourself with opportunity in your catalog. I will finish this analysis by taking an example of myself. Let's assume today I'm a seller that sells a collection of different variations of nutritious flavors coffee pods. I can be selling mushroom coffee pod or lion mane coffee pod or linji coffee pod that are targeting to a specific niche customers. My customers love those kind of segments, and because it's niche market, it's super important for me to understand and continue to dive into the customers who are buying them and understand who are searching them as well. Now, when I look at this brand customer journey, the first thing I saw right away is I'm being flagged in this new tool that I have a decline in awareness for this hero ASIN I always liked. It's the mushroom coffee pod I've been selling for a month. I definitely want to know why. When I click the View Detail button, it right away pulls up a side panel with everything in one place I need to see, from data to action. It covers the KPI, which is specially focused on this coffee pot. It has the visualization chart, helps me understand for each funnel of the conversion, how things are trending for my product. It also brings in data from both up funnel, which is search-focused insights, to down funnel, which is demographic data who are buying my product for this coffee pot. Help me understand how things are doing from both sides. Lastly, we'll talk about the actions, which is built on the insights. You can take actions to improve based on particular pain points you found after looking at the data. We'll talk through each section, understand how things work. Now, I was landing here because I saw this red flag for myself where I have the decline awareness for my favorite mushroom coffee pot that I sell. Week over week, this data of KPI, which is customer-centric metric, confirms I do have a concern of dropping impression. It seems to me that I have relatively stable repeat customer, which is expected because the way I sell this nutritious, it target a niche segment, I expect some kind of loyalty. But it kind of assures me repeat customer is still going well. I also see a good sign as in I'm getting new customers week over week. 2% increase new customer, that's something I want to learn more by looking at more data to see who's buying. What I want to do next is right after the KPI bar, I use visual to understand where things are dropping for my awareness problem, which is the biggest problem I want to focus on at the moment. Obviously, I have a problem with awareness. But I look at the further funnels, I feel a little bit better, as in I lose less customers in terms of consideration intent channels. I think it's because I have a loyal segment that kind of protects my bottom line. It didn't drop as much in terms of the lower funnels. That really tells me at the moment I should look at my impressions and awareness channels. If you are not liking visuals but like to read AI-powered summaries, we also have this data above the chart that tells you better when you read it. You get the normalized data, but also the abnormal you should focus on at the moment. Now I've confirmed very firmly I want to focus on the impression. I'm asking myself 2 questions. Is it a short-term problem or is it a long-term trend I've been ignoring? Also, search is my biggest ingress. What's wrong with search that I should be worried about? But don't worry, right after this, on the same view, we present the search data that give you a trend analysis with more details. When I look at the trend, it's telling me that for the past few weeks, we provide data after 12 weeks, that you can see the trend is relatively stable. I did have a drop last week. That explains the awareness drop. It seems so far it's a short-term problem, so probably I shouldn't panic, but definitely I want to come back every week to make sure I monitor the performances. In addition, what I really like to see is the search keyword table next to it. It gives me a lot more details about how search has been trending. First of all, I think I catch a good news and kind of bad news. Let's talk about the good news first. I know I sell mushroom coffee pot, so when people are searching more on mushroom coffee pot, which is the last line of this table where the impression goes up, I feel happy about it. That means I'm demonstrating my strengths in this area. In addition to that, I'm more excited to see I have a new trending keyword that says eco-friendly pot. This is really interesting because it seems there's a new customer preference that are seeing me on search. I definitely want to make sure they convert when they landed on my detail page. So now I think about what product elements I have for this mushroom coffee pot that I can attract and convert those customers. I can think of things like I should have a paper lid that can be thrown away. The entire pot can be made of eco-friendly material, which it can go directly to the dispose bin after usage. These are the elements I already have. I want to make sure I show them in my listing and my marketing content so it attracts the customer who are searching eco-friendly pot. That also gives me a hint that when I look earlier, I have a new customer increase. That potentially can be a triggered coming through a different search keywords I didn't have in the past. Okay, this is kind of a good news I take away, but also I see kind of a bad sign where coffee and coffee pot, these are the generic keywords I've been relying on as the job week over week. Should I be panicking? Like I mentioned earlier, when I look at combined with the trend, it seems it's only 1 week, so I shouldn't be panicking too much. What I'll do is, the next door of customer journey analytics is the query search performance. I can go there and look up these keywords, understand the historical trend to confirm it is a short-term issue. I'll pause here just do a quick recap. We start with the homepage on customer journey analytics, understanding how my brand's performing over time. But more importantly, I can see the pre-built analytics showing me there's an ASIN I should focus on, which is the mushroom part. Through looking at KPIs and search data, I confirm there's indeed some concern of drop up funnel, and I know it's driven by generic keywords. That's where I double down next is understanding how the keywords are performing. Should I take action now, or should I wait for another few periods to look more? In addition to this overall upper funnel analysis, I always, as a seller, want to look at my down funnel buyers. Who was buying my product? In particularly, when I know I'm already entertaining a niche market, I want to keep very close eye on it. Right below the search performance, we always show you the demographic performance of your buyers. We provide dimensions of analysis include age, gender, marital status, income levels, and education levels. I really give you an idea how you want to understand your buyers. What I like to do is I'd like to look at one product over a different period so I can understand if people have changed their flavor preference over time. I also like to compare other products I sell, such as a lion mane flavored, and see if the mushroom flavor and the other one have shared audiences. In this case, I can create marketing bundles that sell them together and make better sales. Now, coming down to this particular view, this is showing me at the moment, I'm tailoring my customers to a younger population. 40% of my buyers are at the young age of 18 to 24. This really echoes me of the learnings I had in the past in upper funnel. I should be targeting my marketing and listing messages in relevant to the younger population, use the language they like, and make sure we capture the eco-friendly messaging upfront. Now, we have understand upper funnel and lower funnel. I want to take a pause, just do a disclaimer. Actually, my favorite coffee pot is not mushroom, it's mocha and with a lot of chocolate. So this is all like the mock data you see. If you do sell coffee pots, make sure you don't take your laptop and start changing your bit, because that data is just directional. It's not informing the actual sales. All right, so we know what's going on now. We can learn the upper funnel and all the funnel down to see which product you want to focus on and where things are broken or show the opportunity. The next thing you obviously want to do is to take action to engage the customer in the right conversion funnels. I'll give the stage back to Sean. We can talk about different levers Amazon provides you within a few clicks in the same tool that you can start to drive attraction through different funnels conversion.
Cool. Thanks, Shenda. Appreciate it. All right. So as Shenda kind of covered everything from the insights, how exactly we come to these learnings, I'm going to now take us through 3 different examples of how we can use these learnings to effectively target customers through different avenues. This first one, we now have customer level insights. We also have ASIN performance insights, and we understand drop-off points throughout the customer journey. As Shenda was talking about, we had a drop-off point when it came to driving traffic to the customer. So let's start there as our first example. So you've identified your top driving ASINs. You've identified the keywords that are driving traffic. So let's go ahead and act on that by creating a sponsored product campaign. Taking the keywords that you found through your research, whether or not it's on brand analytics or it's on the search query performance report, to understand how exactly you should be building your campaign. This will inform you what types of keywords. It will also inform you maybe what types of cost per click bidding strategies that you want to apply to ones that are already driving traffic to your product. The great part is with sponsored product campaigns, you have the ability to secure specific placement on the search results for those keywords. So we already know that people are searching for your products through those keywords. Let's give you this opportunity to have a higher placement or a kind of like dedicated spot within those search results. That's going to give us that increase in traffic to our product details page. So that's example number 1. Example number 2, let's assume now that we've driven a bunch of traffic to our product page, but we're now dealing with an issue when it comes to converting. Great. I'm going to take you through 2 different examples. Let's think about 2 different drop-off points. The first one being somebody comes to my page, but they're not adding that product to my cart. Or you've got somebody who comes to my page, adds the product to that cart, but is not converting. Fantastic. This is where brand tailored promotions becomes a targeting opportunity for you. So let me give you a little bit of background. What is brand tailored promotions? It is a promotional strategy that allows you to choose which customers or audiences that you want to extend this offer to. Views remarketing, as you can see on the screen, as well as cart abandoners are some of our more prominent used audiences. These are customers that have gone to your page and didn't add to cart. Great, let me extend those people a 10% discount or a 20% discount. Or maybe for those that added the product to their cart but never converted, fantastic. Let me extend them a 20% discount to make that conversion. The best part about using this type of a promotional strategy is that you're effectively using your marketing budget to only go after specific customers. These promotions, brand tailored promotions, will only be visible and redeemable by those target audiences. This isn't a blast strategy where I'm offering this discount to everybody. It is just specific users. So that's going to help on the conversion side of things. And then the last one that I wanted to talk about is around that brand positioning. Kind of doing a callback to the beginning where we said brand differentiation is critical. This is an opportunity. So you identified that your target customer is in that age range of 18 to 24 who search for coffee pots. Fantastic. Use those to your benefits. First, let's go ahead and go to that details page and let's position that value of you as a healthy or nutritious pod compared to other brands. Secondarily, let's accompany that brand positioning with unique A+ content that positions that value. I am now trying to reach my target demographic of moms and dads, or maybe those kind of like earlier individuals who are about to go to school and just need a pick-me-up in the morning. They don't want to do the energy drink. They don't want to do the standard coffee. They're looking for alternatives. So this gives you a mechanism to not only position your detail page, but the content on your detail page to match that story. Once we've done that, I will always say, monitor your progress, measure the impact, and then go ahead and make any further changes from there. Beyond these examples that I've talked about, the 3 today, increasing traffic, increasing conversion, or brand differentiation, brand analytics provides 7 different types of recommendations that could cover over 10 plus actions that you could take. We're really trying to establish a common pattern of insights to actions. And these kind of recommendations can cover a basic example of sponsored product campaign, as I talked about here, or let's assume maybe that you're dealing with a new product launch and you're trying to start to generate reviews. Another option that you might see is that we'll make a recommendation to enroll in Vine so that you can start to secure some early reviews that can then help improve your product's placement on the details page, but then also overall customer trust, because we know that reviews are a critical aspect. People are always wanting to understand what their peers think about a product. So, a couple things that I wanted to cover before we close. As we are thinking about this information and we're applying it to our brand, there's 3 different takeaways that I want us to take home. 1, identify those key ASINs that drive the most loyalty. There's going to be specific ones. The data will show you what those ones are, where you have a lack of a drop-off. Understand the customers are buying that. It's not just about an understanding of what is driving traffic, but it's also an understanding of who is driving traffic. And then plan those engagements and strategies across multiple marketing levers. We shouldn't just be thinking about a single attack. We should be thinking about a multi-pronged approach that allows us to position ourselves in the most effective manner with our customers. So, in summary, when we are strategizing about brand growth, let's think about 2 things. I've said it before, but insights and actions. Leveraging brand analytics, customer journey analytics that we saw, we can use that to identify different drop-off points, hero ASINs, as well as target customers. Then we can act on those insights by using marketing levers such as advertising or promotions or A+ content. And this is all for the purpose of differentiating our brand, reaching the right customers with the right marketing levers, and most importantly, at the right time. And this is what we see as enabling sustained brand growth. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.